AI-generated Christopher Nolan voice to narrate a video highlighting the year's wins for The Division. AI-generated Christopher Nolan voice. Hey, Dan Lin. Remember Dan Lin, guys? That's right, good old Danny Lin. And I've told you guys that before, you know, when I saw the Rebel Moon Part 2, not the director's cut, but, you know, Part 2 of Rebel Moon, the, Netflix cut, the PG-13 cut, that, you know, when I went to the bathroom, I actually peed next to Dan Lin. And, you know, Dan Lin, there's been something about Dan Lin ever since I found out who he was, when he was almost going to get the job at DC Studios. When that job was up for grabs before James Gunn and Peter Safran took over to run DC Studios, Dan Lin was in the mix. And then there was like a whole thing where it's like, is he on a podcast? Did he say something about Snyder fans and blah, 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 and Snyder himself? And then I was hearing things, and I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. But then, of course, he gets the job to lead the film department, the film unit for Netflix. He did something naughty. Dan Lin's learning curve and AI Chris Nolan. It's been a while since I checked in on Dan Lin, the producer turned semi-new head of Netflix's film unit, whose cost-cutting mandate and curt bedside manner hasn't exactly endeared him to the town's talent brokers. This detail may not help. At his group's holiday party this month, Lin used an AI-generated Christopher Nolan voice to narrate a video highlighting the year's wins for The Division. AI-generated Christopher Nolan voice. Yes, the filmmaker who famously will not work with Netflix was deployed via the technology everyone is terrified of to laud the accomplishments of the streaming service that is often criticized as anti-movie theater. Very Hollywood 2024, naturally AI. And Nolan had some very nice things to say about Netflix, I'm told. Netflix confirmed the Nolan anecdote, but declined to comment, as did Nolan's rep. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? What? What are you doing, Danny Lin? Huh? Running your head into a door? That's what you're doing. How did you think that was a good idea? How did you think that was a good idea? Really? Good idea. You could have used any voice, just a British voice. Wow. This guy almost ran DC Studios. This is the guy who kind of shit on Snyder fans, too. I mean, I'm just saying.